So let's get this right. When you used to play the exit in, and you were the wild and crazy guy, really deep down, you were this erudite, well-read, art-loving, serious guy.
Well, actually, no. I was working the exit in. That's the only thing that was on my mind, and doing my comedy act, and all those other things which I would aspire to be really grew incrementally during the next, really 30 years of my life.
So really, because of the success, you were able to fund your art habit and some of those things that I mean, I didn't care about Monet when I was a kid growing up in Montgomery. I eventually went to his house, but that was only because I could afford to later in life.
Well, one of the great catalysts is meeting people who are interesting, and they change our lives and they motivate us. And I was lucky to meet certain people in college and later on, and writers, and become inspired by them. And also the great thing is opportunity. I could actually sit down and write something and have someone read it and get a response. Some writers can't get anything even read. So I did have the opportunity to fulfill a kind of destiny.
Was this novella in you at age 20, 25?
No, not at all. No. I had some designs on being a writer, but I really turned into a comedy writer early on.
So you could write little quips.
Yeah, I could write quips,
jokes,
jokes, and little scenes for the Smothers Brothers and things like that. But it was until the late '80s that I started writing for the New Yorker and for the New York Times and some plays. And I started writing some plays. I'd written screenplays for myself for movies, but it was just a little slow, like hourglass thing.
This movie a lot is about, and I just can't ever understand how a young girl leaves the South or the East, goes to old lonely Los Angeles without any money, doesn't know anybody, and trying to make it, because that's a story that we've seen so many times. Is isolation and loneliness something that you seem to know pretty well, because you certainly wrote about it in here?
I was thinking the other day that from age 24 to age 37, I was on the road, and that is very, very isolating and very lonely, especially when you're in a different town every night and flying out. You don't even have time to say, good morning, to last night's lover.
And there's sometimes you don't even talk for like 12 and 15 hours.
That's
and
true.
People don't understand that.
Right, you're on a bus. I mean, when we were doing a bus tour, I realized that I was like my dog, sleeping 18 hours a day, because you'd sleep all night on the bus, and you'd arrive in a town and go right to bed. Until the show at 5. I mean, it's a very strange experience. I mean, that's where I saw the Brady Bunch. Because I'd come into the hotel at 8 a.m. after flying, go to bed, wake up 4 o'clock, turn on the TV at 5. There was the Brady Bunch in every town in America from 5 to 5:30, and then I'd go do my show and get on the bus again.
Yeah, I mean, but you wouldn't give a thing for doing that, would you? Would you? The experience, you probably might do a little less of it, but it really is make you who you are, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's part of my life. It was no way out. It was good,
Now you are still. Would you call yourself a frustrated banjo player, or just a banjo player, or a work in progress?
I wouldn't call myself frustrated. I can take care of myself in certain situations. In fact, I'm very happy to be working with Earl Scruggs in a couple of weeks in New York, and some very, very good banjo players.
Now, you know what it says? They said the banjo is a very maligned instrument. They say when you pick on a banjo, when you pick it up, your IQ goes down 5 points immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm from Tennessee. They say that at home.
Yeah, but your finger speed increases.
What made you interested of all the instruments? It sounds cool even if you don't know how to play it, actually.
Yeah, it had a when I was 17 years old, I heard it, and it had a magic sound for me.
It's a funny instrument. As opposed to, guitar's not very funny. Banjo can be funny.
Well, it could be, but I think there's a new, one of the things about Earl Scruggs is that they say about him is he was one of the first banjo players who didn't do a comedy act.
That's right.
Who actually was a they were all musicians, they were good musicians, but no jokes. He was playing it for real.
My friend Mike Snyder was the national banjo player for a while. He was a member of the Opry. He's a very funny man. But, he does play serious. But you're right, there's always been a lot of comedy around that instrument.
Right. But that's changed.
Yeah. All right, it's great seeing you. Loved it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hope we do see you come to town sometime.
Okay.